Director of Federal Affairs with Parents Defending Education, Alfonso Aguilar, is here, and we're talking about how the Dems are just going extreme here to obstruct nominees from President Trump, and we wouldn't expect anything less. Good morning, Alfonso.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous.
Yeah, I am hearing myself talk. When I say something, I hear it back through your phone. That's weird. Okay, so if we had done this to, let's say conservatives had done this to a president considered on the left, that's all we'd hear about all day long.
Absolutely. They would say that we're putting democracy at risk, that we don't care about the country. And they usually attack Republicans and conservatives of the things that they do, right? That's the Marxist playbook. And that's what we're seeing here. I mean, this is unprecedented obstruction. And your audience should understand that the majority of civilian nominees, non-military nominees of an administration are usually confirmed through voice vote or unanimous consent, and often in bloc. The majority, with the George W. Bush administration, the Obama administration, 90% of nominees were confirmed that way. During the first Trump administration, about 57%. During the Biden administration, over 62%. And now Democrats don't want to confirm not even one nominee that way because they want to drag out the legislative process and ensure that President Trump doesn't get the people that he needs to enact his agenda.
Well, Schumer said he was going to do this, right? Didn't Schumer say we're going to do everything at our disposal to not let this happen?
Exactly. And so, when they don't get their way, they just burn down the house. That's how they operate. They don't care about democracy. And the American people elect a president, and they don't only expect a smooth, peaceful transition, but they also expect the minority, the loyal opposition, as we used to call it, to work with the majority to ensure that the new president, the new administration, has the staff that it needs to do its job. So frankly, they don't care. President Trump was negotiating with Chuck Schumer. Schumer obviously was making unreasonable demands, and at the end, President Trump said, let everybody go to recess, and we'll just say how bad the Democrats are. We'll explain it to our constituents, and I think we have to, because again, it's ironic that they're continuously attacking Trump, saying that he's authoritarian, that he's putting democracy in risk, when they're the ones that don't care about democracy.
Truer words have never been said. They're constantly saying, he's going to destroy our democracy. I'm like, first of all, it's a republic. Second of all, the only democratic thing about it is the fact that you're supposed to be elected to do a stinking job, and y'all aren't doing it. You're deflecting and defecting instead of doing your jobs. Now, he needs his cabinet for everything to run correctly. He needs his appointees to be appointed. It's how the government runs smoothly. And when they are obstructionists like they are, I don't know why the left looks at them as heroes, because what they are is destroying the democracy.
Right.
It's almost funny, Alfonso.
But I suspect, the American people are smart and they know what's going on. That's why they're losing voters, right?
And the kids can't wait to not vote for them.
They're tired because they're tired of this extreme tactics, because they're really extreme. They don't care about the country, and they're embracing the tactics of the hard left. I mean, look at the Department of Education. I work in the field of education. Until 2 weeks ago, the only political appointee confirmed by the Senate to the Department of Education was the secretary. That's ridiculous. She has 5 assistant secretaries that haven't been confirmed. One of them is the assistant secretary for congressional affairs. You have to wonder, how controversial can the assistant secretary for congressional affairs be? It's the liaison with Congress. But they're making an issue of absolutely every single nominee. They want to have a roll call vote. and that takes time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when the Senate gets back, they have to. If Democrats are not willing to collaborate, and I don't see any signs that they're willing to do so, I think they're going to have to look at changing rules so that they can confirm the president's team.
Well, this is the first time in history it's happened, so there's a little scramble going on figuring out what are we going to do with these people because they're not doing their jobs. I wish that the national media would pick up its left foot for just 1 second and tell people what's going on here. Now, if these were horrible nominees who were like axe murderers and child molesters and all that sort of thing, I'd get it. You know, you don't want them to be in any part of government, but we have people who are just good people waiting for their lives to be off hold.
Many of these nominees are getting support from a good number of Democrats. Mm-hmm. The problem is not the nominees. The problem is obviously is that they want to slow down the process. Right. And you mentioned the media. The media is not talking about it. But once the Senate changes the rules to expedite the process, you will see the media talking and saying, "Oh my God, they're changing the rules. How undemocratic!"
You just said a new word. Totally I love your new word, the mediates. I think you accidentally said it, but that's my new word now, the mediates. I'm using it.
Right.
Yeah, and they will. And they'll say, oh, look what the Republicans are doing. They're taking away any power from the Democrats to stop people from blah, blah, blah. They'll find a way to twist it into a pretzel of disinformation.
Absolutely. But that's what they do. And, I think President Trump has been very clear that he's going to put pressure on Senate leadership to do whatever it takes to get those nominees through. And if it means changing the rules, they'll have to change the rules because, again, this has never happened in history. It just shows an unwillingness to work with President Trump. These are the same people that complain about January 6th, Oh, my God. Mm-hmm. They were not allowing the peaceful transition of power. They were disrupting an official procedure. Well, I think we can all agree that it wasn't great that some people trespassed on Capitol Hill that day. But what are they doing right now? They are doing exactly the same thing. They're disrupting the process. They're not allowing the administration to form its government, and that's a travesty. They don't care about the American people, and the American people deserve to have a government that's functioning, that can enact the policies that they voted for.
Well, it's in their playbook to go hide when they don't want to do their job. Case in point, the Texas people who went and hid in Illinois, which was on the taxpayers' dime, by the way. That they did that, right. Where they refused to do their job. Schumer and his crew are refusing to do their job nationally. So I really, really, really wish that the people who vote for Democrats would replace them with people who think about the actual people instead of just showboating.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And you mentioned what happened in Texas. This is typical. Again, another hard left tactic.
They gerrymander all the time.
If they don't get their way,
yeah,
they just leave. I'm not, they're elected to legislate, to go to the chamber. Well, no, we're going to disappear. We're going to escape. We're going to flee the state. Well, this is basically what they're doing on the Hill in Washington, and it can't stand.
No, it's got to stop. They do it every time. They do it everywhere. Unless, of course, the lines are being drawn in their favor, which happened in Illinois not too long ago, happens all the time.
Of course.
The timing of it is a little stinky. It's right before the midterms. But does it even matter when it is? Because if you're such a great candidate, shouldn't you be able to win anyway? And if you're not a great candidate, then there were a lot of Republicans who were in your district who were being underrepresented. So maybe that's what they should be thinking about instead. But with the lack of time that I have left, you do have an op-ed. Is it in the Washington Reporter, if I'm not mistaken?
It's in the Washington Reporter, yes.
Okay, and can they read that online?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. I want everybody to go read all of his words of what's going on, because I don't have time in this short segment. It's only 12 minutes to get to all of it. But it's in the Washington Reporter, and his name is Alfonso Aguilar. He is the Director of Federal Affairs for Parents Defending Education Action. And a lot needs to be done on the education front in this country. So why they're dragging their feet on this one makes no sense to me. Alfonso, thank you, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.